y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and I'm ready to get in the heart and hustle. Child, I've been dealing with my own heart and hustle issues. I'm so sick of men's and they bullshit, but that's another conversation for another day. Let's talk about somebody else's relationships and their problems. Not that I have a relationship or problems, I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm down here to discuss heart and hustle. The last time I watched it, I think it was only 3 episodes out. I believe there's 4 or 5 now. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it. Before we do, y'all, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you've not already. First of all, the show Heart and Hustle is based out of Houston, Texas. It's 6 Black women who are all entrepreneurs. They're all very successful. They're living amazing lives. And we're going to get to see the inside of their lives, from their professions to their personal relationships. So far, I actually like the show. I think they've done a good job at not only showing us the image of these women, the success of these women. This is what the public sees. We get to see all the glitz and glam of the lives and careers that they've built, but they also balance that with a level of transparency and trauma without being trashy. And that's up my alley. Now, some of them are messy. Some of them is messy, but they ain't trashy. And that's what sets it apart for me. Of course, the first episode is just the introduction to the women and their lives and their drama. And I'm gonna kind of just give y'all the rundown on who the characters are, what they got going on. I don't know how many people are actually watching the show, so I don't know, how many people know who these people are. And I know how my brain works when you just give me a list of people and I don't have any context for them people. I don't know who the fuck them people is. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know if it'll make a difference with me introducing everybody before I break the story down as we go into the episodes, but that's what I'm gonna do. So episode 1 starts out with all of the ladies coming together at a soft opening of a bar, lounge, restaurant, kind of a venue that Latoria is opening. So Latoria, I guess, is going to be the nucleus of the group. She is a publicist who is partnered with somebody who wanted to open this bar, lounge, restaurant. It's essentially her vision with somebody else's money. She invited all these ladies for this soft opening. So we get introduced to the restaurant, we get introduced to the ladies, we get introduced to their relationships and the drama that lies therein. So the next lady that we meet is Chloe. Chloe is a wedding and event planner. She's also a mom to 3 children, and she's dating a man who is 17 years younger than her, who is just barely older than her son. And of course, it is a topic of conversation between the ladies, but it's a source of contention between her and her son. And I'm gonna tell you, at first, I wasn't really feeling Chloe, especially the whole dating some child that's damn near your son's age. But then, as you watch the episode and you get to know her story, it kind of starts to make sense. I just knew I wasn't gonna like her, but y'all know I got a little soft spot sometimes. And I'm not gonna say I can relate to what she went through, but I understand it. And I understand why she's moving the way that she's moving. The next person we meet is Labrina. Now, I love Labrina. She is a spa owner, and she's also married to a former NFL player. This is another thing that I really like about this show, and I didn't even really realize until I started doing this review. I love that I believe all of these women, most of them, are in relationships or married, but they were not introduced by who they are connected to. They were introduced to the audience by who they are as their own person, who you are as a woman, as a professional, what your endeavors and your ventures are, and I love that. Then we meet Ro. Ro is a general manager and a consultant for nightclubs, bars, and restaurants. She's worked with a number of very rich, very successful celebrity investors and clients, and she's also a single mom. Then we meet Munira. Now, Munira is an electrical engineer turned full-time content creator, and I think she's beautiful and very successful, and she has a beautiful family, but she a little sickening. She gets on my nerves just a little bit, and I'll tell y'all why in a minute. And the last lady that we meet is Elena. She is a makeup artist and owner of a makeup studio. She said it's the most sought out makeup studio in Houston, Texas. You better. Now, in addition to owning a makeup studio, Elena is married. She's married to her high school sweetheart. I don't think they have any children, but that marriage is going to be the center of the drama for this season. Because as soon as we meet these ladies and they sit down around this table, they get ready to try the food and the drinks to see what the restaurant got to offer. No sooner than they sit down, rather than digging into a plate of food, they digging into that damn girl marriage. And then she telling all her business. So that's how they got in her business, right? They looking at her across the table. Oh, girl, you look so pretty. Oh, and your rings are pretty too. Is that your wedding ring? She said, no, that's not my wedding ring. They said, oh, you don't be wearing your ring? She said, I mean, I do, but I didn't wear it today because it didn't match what I got on. You know, I got on a bunch of gold and my ring is silver. Child, them ladies about lost their damn mind. She's saying, well, you know, it doesn't bother me. They said, well, it's a big deal to us. Labrina said, I wish my husband would be walking around without his damn ring on his finger. We gonna have flames on our house because I'm gonna burn that motherfucker down. Now, at the table, Elena is telling them that, oh, there's nothing wrong, nothing's going on. I just didn't wear my ring today. It's not that big a deal. But in the confessional, she is telling us a different story. She is telling us how they have been together since they were, I think, juniors in high school. They've been together 21 years, and you just can't be in it 100% all the time when you've been together that long. And yeah, things look good on the surface, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes that she's dealing with. I bet you are. And I'm just go ahead and say this right up front before we even get knee deep into their relationship and all that stuff. I'm gonna tell you, and this ain't got nothing to do with them. This is just what I think in general about them long relationships, especially from childhood. They very, very rarely last unless somebody is sacrificing themselves to be in that relationship. For me, it's a hard concept to wrap my mind around, that what you wanted as a junior in high school is the same thing you want at 40 years old. Now, for some people, it works. But in my personal experience of people that I've known, unless you are very conscious and intentional about growing together, people tend to outgrow each other. Even people who, I'm married 40, 50 years. I'm not one of those people that goes, oh God, I can't wait. I wish. I'm one of them people that start looking around trying to figure out who took more shit. Because a lot of the times, them long-term, them been together 30, 40, 50-year marriages, they don't be all that people crack them up to be. Somebody done took a lot of shit in order to be able to say, I've been married this long. I have been in my institution for this many years, you know, at Karen Huger shit. And so honestly, I'm not surprised that they, after being together 21 years, have been together since they were juniors in high school. That's the only man she's ever been with. I mean, at least that we know of, or that she gonna admit to, because that's her damn husband. But it just does not surprise me that they find themselves at a difficult place. Now, that does not mean that their marriage will fail. I honestly hope that they are able to grow through it, that they're able to work through it, that they're able to maintain their marriage and grow to the next level of them as individuals and as a union. But I'm just not one of those people who is shocked when them 20, 30, 40-year marriages fall apart, because a lot of the times they're being held together because people are afraid to do anything different, or because this is all I know, and what am I going to do with my life if I'm not with this person? This person is my identity. This is my life. This is who I've spent all these years with. This is who I made a family with or built a business with. And people just stay stuck in what is comfortable to them, even if it's not good for them, even if it doesn't make them happy. They can be miserable, but at least I know the lay of the land in this misery. Now, on the back end, Miss Lady is letting us know that, yeah, I got some problems in my marriage. We going through some things, but on the front end, ain't nobody gonna talk no shit about my man, because Miss Chloe decided to set her ass up there and tell that girl, your husband ain't even that fine, bitch. What? So as Elena is explaining to the ladies that she and her husband met in their junior year of high school and they've been together all these years, Chloe said, girl, I'd be sick of him by now. That's the only man you ever been with. Elena said, yes. She said, oh, girl, that's boring as hell. Well, damn. So they asked her, well, what you want the lady to do? Cheat on her damn husband? She said, no, I don't condone cheating. I'm just saying he would have to be knocking it down. I mean, putting me through the wall, bitch. Because I get bored real easy, and I'd have been bored with him a long time ago. You don't know if that man is putting that lady through the damn wall or not. You don't know if that man got that lady swinging from chandeliers and ceiling fans. Mind your business. Sometimes people don't want you to know everything going on in their marriage. Yes, the bed of marriage is undefiled, but you ain't getting in this bed with us. Mind your damn business. So Labrina speaks up as another married woman to explain that, she and Elena have discussed this issue, and that she explained that marriage is a seasonal thing, meaning that you have waves, you have seasons, you have ebbs and flows, you have ups and downs, and every day ain't gonna be Freaky Friday. And Elena co-signed that by saying, yeah, it's not always perfect. Every day ain't Sunday. And if you need time to grow, take a step back, take a breather. And that's just what we're doing right now. Chloe said, taking a step back and a breather, does that mean y'all breaking up? Elena said, no, we're not breaking up at all. Chloe said, well, you got to be specific because that sounds real break-up-ish. And Elena starts explaining that sometimes when you've been together so long, you have to learn to be best friends again. She said, because we can both be two good people doing good things that are just not aligned. And Chloe said, well, the problem is I'm so damn traumatized. I done been through so much that the first thing I'm going to think is take a breather, take a step back. They sleeping in separate rooms. Oh, they breaking up. Elena said, well, I mean, yeah, we are sleeping in separate rooms. They start looking around like, bitch, y'all is breaking up. What the fuck is going on? And here go Chloe. Oh, so y'all are sleeping in separate rooms? Girl, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. Munira said, yeah, she probably wasn't ready to tell you that. And Elena is saying in the confessional that she realized as she's being questioned about this, that she does not want to be questioned about something that she is actively going through. People don't have the answers for who, what, when, where, and why. When they are actively going through it, you are in the maze trying to find your way out. Don't come asking me where the exit is at. Don't come asking me how long it's going to take me to get to the exit. Bitch, I don't know. I'm lost right now. It is so overwhelming when you are going through something. You in the middle of something. And people just go, what's going on? And what you going to do? And how you going to figure it out? And how you going to work that out? Get the fuck out my face. So I understand where she's coming from about not wanting to be questioned about it. But I also get not necessarily the ladies getting all in her business, but it's also kind of obvious that whatever image they're trying to uphold and present to the world is not exactly what's going on at home. So the ladies start asking her, is that the real reason you ain't wearing your ring? And she said, no, that's not why. It just didn't match my outfit. And she's in the confessional explaining that she doesn't think that her not wearing her ring takes anything away from who she is as a wife. But it does kind of speak to, especially when y'all are going through something, as y'all ain't in a good place and you're not wearing your ring, it speaks to the state of your marriage. So here goes Chloe asking her, so let me ask you, do you feel like you're outgrowing Josh? And Elena saying, I don't think like that. I don't feel like, I'm outgrowing him. And the lady starts saying, yeah, because you a baddie. You a bad motherfucker. And she said, well, I appreciate that, but he's fine too. Chloe said, now girl, he ain't fine. And busted out laughing. God, Josh ain't what, bitch? Josh ain't here to keep her off your ass. She gonna whoop your ass talking about her damn husband. She said, don't talk about my husband like that. So as Elena is going off by don't talk about my husband like that, Chloe decides she's gonna start a damn survey. She turns to Munira about, you think Josh fine? Is Josh really actually fine like that? Munira don't want no parts of this shit. She said, I don't be looking at that man like that. So now Elena is trying to actually defend and define how and why her husband is fine. By he's good looking, and I guess he's good in bed. By his shoe game is always on point. He dresses really nice. Girl, I'd have told him to kiss my entire ass. My husband ain't fine. It don't matter what you think about what my husband look like. You ain't got to be laid up with the motherfucker. And I always find it interesting when people are that forward about what they feel about how somebody else looks, as though they are the apex, as though they are the pinnacle of beauty. Not saying that she's not a beautiful woman, because they're all beautiful women, but everybody ugly to somebody. So, I mean, you might want to pipe down. I piped up in the confessional and said if it was me and somebody was telling me my husband wasn't fine, I wouldn't give a damn, because the one thing that motherfucker would be is rich. Well, since Chloe got so damn much to say, they said, well, say something about your damn relationship. Tell us your business. What's going on with you and that little boy you dating? So as Chloe is explaining that this young man isn't much older than her son, and she tells them what the actual age difference is, which is 17 years, they're, oh, well, that's not that bad. I think it was Labrina spoke up and said, y'all a damn lie. Y'all know y'all lying, and y'all know y'all full of shit, but that ain't that damn bad. And Chloe's in the confessional talking about, they say these young men in this generation know what they want, and that man for sure wants me. No, you want the validation of a younger man being attracted to you. You want the validation of being chosen by a younger man, because that feeds your ego. It makes you feel youthful and beautiful, and ooh, look, the young man wants me. And I really think it's fueled by what we're going to find out later in the episode, which was the passing of her husband. Chloe ends up explaining that she was married to a man that she had been with for 7 years. They got married on their 7th anniversary, and 2 months later, he died. He had a massive heart attack. Remember I told y'all the story about I had dated a man who was significantly older than me, and we kind of realized that we really liked each other, but then we realized that we were at two different places in our lives and we probably wanted different things. In my relationship with that man and talking to that man and getting to know that man, what I found was, yes, he had been married and divorced, and he was okay with that. You know, he felt like he had seen his marriage through. He had seen it for the good, the bad, and the ugly. But after his marriage ended, he met a lady who he fell absolutely in love with. He was head over heels for this woman. They were together for a few years, and then she got sick. And from, I believe, her diagnosis to her death was less than 6 months. And that man was deeply, deeply hurt by that. I feel like it impacted him so deeply that he's afraid to open his heart again, because you've been divorced one time and then you find somebody who you think actually is, not saying that the wife wasn't the right person, but you find the person who is right for you for the season that you're in your life, and y'all have this excellent relationship, and then they die. And low-key, you mad at God. And so, you know what? I got something for you. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to go find me somebody young, fit, and fabulous that I ain't got to worry about them dropping dead on me. Maybe I'll drop dead on them. How about that? And that's what I think is driving her to want this younger man, because she does come off as kind of mature. I'm not saying, she doesn't give me lawyerly, but she's grown. She has some maturity to her, and she has a grown son. Now, I think she did say she had her son around 20, which also kind of explains things, because she had to grow up and be a big adult, be a mom, at 20. And so that kind of impacts how you get to experience your youth and those years that you're supposed to just be partying and be on your damn neck. I had some amazing time. I partied my ass off in my 20s. Do you understand me? I wouldn't trade that shit for the world. So I feel like, especially women that I've known personally who did not get that, who became parents and wives very, very early, they get to this point where, especially once the kids are older or the marriage starts to kind of wind down, where they want to relive that missed era of their life. And I think all of that is coming together and fueling this desire for a younger man. But after hearing her story, I kind of understand. It kind of all makes sense. And I'm one of them people. Now, I ain't saying you just get to do any damn thing you want to do and do people any kind of way because you're grieving. But I do believe you can't tell people how to grieve. I can only imagine you have small children with this man. You have years with this man. And y'all decide to get married and y'all are going to spend your lives together. And you don't expect that forever is only going to be 2 months. You do not expect that. And so I understand that, she's grieving, she's traumatized, among a whole lot of other things, and you can't always tell people how to deal with that. Now, thank God she is an adult and he can make his own decisions, but you have so much more life experience on them. And that's what the ladies ended up saying to her. They were saying that, yeah, that's all good, that you having a good time with some young, get your back broke, get whatever you need. But how long do you really think this is going to last? Because you have so much more life experience than him, and he has so much life to live. How long can y'all possibly be on the same page? And Elena took this opportunity to get her shot back in the confessional. She said, this is exactly why Chloe can't say a damn thing to me about my man or my relationship, because what the hell you gonna do with a baby? So now, as everybody is digging in everybody's business, they start asking about where the hell is the food, because we supposed to be here to try this damn restaurant out. So now Elena tries to be nice about it. She said, has anyone been here before? Chloe said, no, it's everybody's first time, including the damn workers. That's why the food taking so long. Now Latoya toes got stepped on, because this is her venue and her event. She said, y'all do realize that we're not open yet. Child, Labrina piped up like the business owner that she is. Labrina said, let me tell you something, I'm a service-driven person. And at the end of the day, the standard is the standard. And you have to meet the standard. So all that bunch of coming up with excuses about, well, we're not open yet, and we're just trying this, and we're just trying that, and we're a Black-owned business. She said, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Latoria said, well, I have to disagree with you because the thing is, resources are not always the same across the board. Labrina said, let me explain something to you because I am also a Black-owned business. She said, I don't have all of the same resources as the spa that's in the Four Seasons, but I still have to meet the industry standard. I don't get to say, oh, well, I'm a small business or I'm a Black-owned business, and so I just can't reach the standard. And Elena speaks up to say, well, in my opinion, I feel like we are harder on us than we are on anybody else. And a lot of the times, Black-owned businesses don't get second chances. We don't give each other grace. Labrina said, exactly. That's why you got to come out the gate swinging. And honestly, I agree. I agree with Labrina. One thing that pisses me off, because I also agree with Elena, that we are harder on each other than we are on anybody else. We will take some bad service with a smile from other people, and then we'll drag our own people for an honest mistake all across the damn internet and hot coals. So I do agree with that, but I also agree with where Labrina is coming from, because there is also the issue of Black-owned businesses, and certain cities are highlighted for this issue. But there's the issue of thinking that you can give subpar service and sub-quality products because you're primarily servicing your own people. Why don't we deserve excellence? Why don't we deserve the standard? Why should I have to forego the standard in order to support my own people? And if the food is slow, the service is bad, whatever is going on, take those notes. That's what a soft opening is for, not for you to argue with people while they still ain't got no damn food in front of them. These are other business owners. I mean, I could see if it was Ralph who be round the corner with a brown paper bag all the time talking shit. But these are other business owners who are trying to tell you that, listen, baby, you might be able to do this with us, but don't let this shit go down once you open these doors. Labrina said that's the whole point of my statement. If we know that we don't get second chances, you have to do your best to meet the standard out of the gate before people decide they don't want to give you a second chance because they just looking for a reason to not give you a second chance. And Latoria speaks up to say, listen, I'm not saying I'm an expert in this business and I know everything. And that's kind of why I wanted you ladies to come. And that's why I've been looking into getting a consultant. And Ro, of course, is a restaurant, bar, and nightclub consultant. And she's saying, well, the fact that you're even open to bringing in a consultant to give you advice on how to improve and how to make sure that this does stay afloat says that you really do care about the business. Now, on that note, they decided, yeah, it's time to wrap up the dinner. Y'all can take y'all food and y'all opinions, wrap them all up to go and get the hell on. Thank you. And then we move on to Latoria's home, where she has invited Elena over. She is hosting her to have a one-on-one conversation to check in with her, since the ladies got knee deep in her damn business and they found out there seems to be some trouble in paradise. Now, here's my thing about Latoria. Latoria comes off like she's the neutral party and she means everybody well and she's just trying to understand everything that's going on, but low-key she messy. And she keeps up a little bit of drama and she run a little shit back and forth. Like she a little bit messy. So Latoria starts off this one-on-one by getting into Elena's business about how she felt about Chloe and Chloe's comments at the soft opening. So Elena goes into explaining how of all the ladies, she's known Chloe the longest. So she's okay with a little kiki here and there, cracking a little joke or two. She said, but Chloe was doing too much and going too damn far. She said she had a whole lot of comments, too many of them for me. So here go Latoria, well, what comments? What comments are you referring to, girl? Elena said, well, it's one thing to compliment me. You can compliment me all day. But when you start coming for my husband, that's wild. She said, Chloe could never pull the caliber of men that I pull, i.e. my husband. I said, yeah, clean that up. Clean that up real fast. Because if you done known this man since your junior year of high school, who is you pulling? She said she could never pull the caliber of men that I pull. That's why she had to go get her a little young thing. Somebody who don't know no damn better. Well, Now, Latoria done invited this lady over to get in her business, to question her about the whole Chloe situation. Soon as the lady starts telling her how she feels about the situation, Latoria is in the damn confessional about, well, Chloe can be saucy. It's kind of like a sweet and sour sauce. I mean, yeah, it can seem like she's coming at you, but she means well. But I don't want to be in the middle of this. I want them to just work it out amongst themselves. I want them to figure this out. I don't want to be in the middle of no mess. Then why the fuck did you invite the lady over to discuss the mess, to rehash the mess, to get knee deep in the mess? I don't know, Latoya just gives me throw the rock and hide your hand kind of personality. I don't like them kind of people. I don't like people who will stir the pot and hide the spoon and act like they ain't had nothing to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't get in mess, but you got the spoon in your hand. So Latoya moves on to asking Elena about her marriage and saying, I just wanted to make sure you're good. Are y'all good? Is everything okay? She said, yeah, we're good. I feel like once we figure out the space that we want to be in, where he figures out where he wants to be and I know where I want to be, then we can come together again. And she's explaining that the source of this contention or this issue between them is that he also quit his full-time job, I guess, to work in her makeup brand, her makeup studio, for them to have this business together. And she's saying, if you've been in a marriage where you work with your spouse, you would know, and I don't know, I never had a damn marriage, much less somebody to work with. She was saying that it puts this added strain onto your marriage. And I can only imagine, because marriage is hard enough as it is, and co-workers is hard enough. You ever had a co-worker she wanted to whoop? Now let that co-worker be your damn husband. Just Lord. So I get where she's coming from. And I kind of understand how, especially if y'all been together all your lives since we've been kids, and now, we are flourishing and we're becoming successful, but now our businesses are enmeshed and we have no individuality whatsoever. And there ain't no time to miss you. Let me miss you. She says so because of that added strain, she ultimately decided to separate their brands and pursue her business and her brand alone without him in tow. And so now he has to figure out what he wants his business and brand to be. She said, and hopefully this little break that we're taking to figure everything out will bring us back together in the end. So Latoya asked Elena, she said, so you feel like you evolving by yourself is going to help y'all collectively? And Elena said, absolutely. She explained that they were very codependent, that they depended on each other for everything. They need to establish their own identities. And she's absolutely right. Now, Latoya is in the confessional saying how, as a woman, we can detect when other things or deeper things are going on with a woman, and I don't want to push her too hard about her marriage and tell her that she should go faster or she's going too slow or whatever she's saying. And then she starts suggesting to Elena that, well, maybe y'all could take one step toward each other by getting back in the same bedroom and just sleeping on bunk beds. And maybe you could take a step back into minding your damn business. Please leave the married people alone. So we move on to Labrina's house, where she and her husband, Will, are going to be hosting a couples night for all the couples. They live on a 5+ acre ranch. They got all kinds of farm animals and big money and all kind of going on that damn ranch. When I tell you, I love it. Labrina says she is married to a man named Will Jackson, I think is his last name. And he was a cornerback in the NFL for 8 years. They've been together, I think, 10 years, and they've been married for 2. And they are a beautiful couple. I really like her. So the next couple that we meet is Munira and her husband, Norm. They've been together, I think, 11 years, and I think they have 3 children together. This is where she explains the whole backstory of herself and her husband and their relationship. And she said she and her husband met, I think, back when they were out in the streets partying, when they were footloose and fancy free. They met, got married. She was an electrical engineer for, I believe, 20 years, and she became a content creator, and then eventually got burned out trying to do both. She ended up in the ER and realized she had to make a decision about whether she was going to continue to be an electrical engineer, where she was often the only woman, and especially the only Black woman, or if she was going to go full-time into her content creation. And she decided to pursue being a full-time content creator, which is what she is today. So the next couple to arrive is Elena and the infamous Josh. And when I saw the man, this the man Chloe trying to run down. He's a good-looking guy. Now, I mean, maybe he's not her fine, but there ain't no damn ugly man. There ain't no bad-looking man. Now, I ain't into running around calling other people husbands fine and undressing them with my eyes and shit. But he's a good-looking man. And Elena goes on to say how she's really excited about this couples night. She's happy Labrina invited them out because they don't get to do things like this often. And she feels like maybe that is part of the problem in their marriage. Now, this scene is also where I realized that Munira is probably going to get on my nerves a little bit. First of all, they're all in this big, beautiful home. And it stood out to me when Elena came in, she takes off her coat. Labrina takes her coat like a good hostess to put her coat away. Munira is standing in the middle of the kitchen in a full fur coat. Like, what? Take that damn coat off. And then Elena fixes herself a little plate of chips and dip. And she goes to eat this dip, and she's telling him, listen, I'm about to crunch this chip. This ain't gonna be cute. I'm about to eat, bitch. Now she bites the chip, and she got a little too much dip on her chip, so a piece of the chip and the dip falls off onto the counter. Well, this is Labrina's home. Labrina is the hostess, and Labrina's a girl. I don't mind. It's all right. You like me. That's my kind of shit. Well, here comes Munira with her damn napkin trying to clean behind her. And even Labrina said, here come mama. Yeah, watch mama cleaning up behind everybody. And for some reason, out of nowhere, I don't know. You know they be editing this shit, so I don't know what the conversation was. But Munira brings up that there was a lot of traffic on the way there. And Labrina said, well, who drives? And her husband spoke up to say, oh, I'm the full-time chauffeur. And she said, so I don't ever drive? Now, this ain't got nothing to do with her. I get that they were just being fun and funny and, you know, shooting the shit. But couples who fake argue everywhere they go, like that's the only way they know how to socialize, or they think it's cute and entertaining that they always poking at each other and they have these little fake fights that they eventually turn into real fights. That shit irritates me. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm traumatized by people and their drama. And I done seen some of these little fake arguments escalate and turn into some bullshit. I don't know. It just worked my damn nerves. And those were my first flags. That I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think, like, you know, she's not it. She just got that. You know what I think it is? I think, and maybe it's the content creator in her that needs to present this particular image, even down to the keeping on this fur coat. When I tell you that shit drove me nuts. Go take that damn coat off. But this whole, so I don't ever drive, so you always drive. Girl, shut the fuck. Who can tell you something? A man can't embarrass me with no shit like that. I mean, yeah, he always drives. I'm not gonna argue him down. You damn right. I forget how to drive when that motherfucker's around. Please. I'm always the chauffeur. I'm always driving. I just said, you damn right. The best chauffeur I know with your fine ass. Thank you. You can't embarrass me. All that bunch of, so I don't ever drive. You wouldn't have heard shit from me. You right, yeah. She said, I be volunteering to drive, but you always tell me no. And she always want to be on the passenger side so she can call and text and do whatever she want to do. Like, it just, shut up. Like, them people ain't did nothing to me. They did nothing wrong. But I just want them to shut up. You know what it is? I think performative is the word I'm looking for. I think it comes off as performative. Like, y'all are trying to be this playful, quippy kind of couple, and it ain't like, please. And Elena speaks up to say, well, yeah, my husband drives most of the time. He said, yeah, and I don't mind it. I just don't be wanting the damn commentary. Well, man, you're going to have to think me and Siri talking shit. Because one thing I'm going to do is scream if you turn the wrong way. If you get too close to the next time screaming, you're going to get this commentary now. You're going to hear me and Siri giving you directions and talking cash shit. But I'm going to try to be quiet so I don't have to drive. But y'all don't follow me up because, see, I ain't got no damn full-time chauffeur to piss off. I'm just sitting up here talking shit. Don't listen to me. And Munira said, oh, child, we sound like old married couples. How long y'all been married again? And that's when Elena explains that she and her husband have been together since her junior year, his senior year, which would be 21 years, but they've been married for 15. So Labrina pipes up to ask, well, what's y'all's advice for long-term marriage? And you can see Elena kind of looking around like, bitch, my marriage is barely holding on. I ain't got no damn advice. I'm trying to get some advice. But she spoke up to say, well, a lady told her at some point during her marriage that all you got to do is get naked. She said, see how much you want to argue once you take your damn clothes off. Her husband said, well, do it tonight. Yeah, try that tonight. Let's see how that works. Please. Thank you. I see, yeah, she don't be letting that man touch her on the inside parts. There's some shit going down over there. And on that note, they decided to split up and leave the guys with the guys, and the ladies gonna go outside and talk amongst them damn selves. So now, when the ladies go outside and talk amongst themselves, they want to talk about Elena and her marriage and what's going on because they done picked up on the cues. Not only from the conversation at the soft opening of the restaurant, but this little conversation we having here, it sounds like y'all ain't touching each other on the inside parts. And Munira is saying in the confessional that she has known Elena for about 10 years, and she knows that Elena has this way of going into this reserved space where she doesn't really like to talk about what's going on with her. And Labrina is saying how she felt like that whole exchange between Chloe and Elena at the soft opening was the wrong time, wrong place, that conversation didn't have to be had then. And she wants Elena to know that they are a safe space, that she can talk to them and they won't judge her. Elena is saying everybody wants to ask her about her marriage, but She is apprehensive about talking about her marriage, one, because they're both going through their own growth phases. They're trying to grow independently and grow as a couple. And she just don't want to talk about that. And when you're going through stuff in your relationship, that's an insecurity to not have a perfect or a presentable marriage. Labrina decided, I guess, because her marriage is the youngest of the three, she wanted to know from them. She said, listen, I haven't been married a decade. So I want to know from people who have been married a long time, does the sex stay good? Like y'all still be into each other and doing all kind of nasty, freaky, enjoyable shit? Or does it get to a point where it's just like, turn over, hurry up, give me something, just come on. And Elena said, well, that's part of the problem that we're having. We're not having any sparks. There are no fireworks. So yeah, we're going through the phase of ain't even no damn turnover. It's don't touch me, bitch. Well, that explains why the man is in the kitchen talking about take your clothes off tonight. Yeah, they ain't touching each other. So we move on from Labrina's house and we cut over to Chloe's home, where she is at home with her 3 children. She has a grown son and 2 small daughters. This is where we get to see her backstory, and she explains that she had her son when she was 20, and her 2 daughters are a product of her husband, and explain how they got married on their 7th anniversary, and he died 2 months later unexpectedly from a massive heart attack. She was saying that her son stepped up at the time that her husband passed away. He was there for her and his little sisters. She said, but lately, he don't have 2 words to say to her. They are living in the same house and not speaking. And so when she comes in the house and the son is in there with the daughters and he's, setting them up with their snacks and whatever else. Once she came in, he said, all right, well, I got them straight. I'm about to go. She said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm out. She said, but you can't leave because I want to talk to you. We need to talk. He said, I ain't trying to talk. I ain't got time for that. He said, you already know how this go down. When you come home, I leave. And this is all apparently rooted in his absolute disgust for the fact that she is in a relationship with somebody who is damn near his age. Chloe said in the confessional that she recognizes that her son is not happy about who she's dating, but she's not happy about the way that he's treating her in her own home. And she says in the confessional that she doesn't feel like her son should have any opinion about what she does in her personal life. And that is absolutely ridiculous. To think you can just do anything you want to do and then evade accountability on the basis of your authority as a parent. That is some wild shit. To think I can conduct myself any way I want to conduct myself. I don't have to move with respect to my children or care how they feel about how I'm moving and how I'm representing them. They shouldn't have anything to say. And even though I move with no respect or no regard for them, they should still have the utmost respect for me. Yes, your child has to respect and honor you, but you don't get to be any kind of that person doing any kind of thing you want to do and evade accountability on the basis of, well, I'm the parent. I mean, listen. People can do what they want to do and live the life they want to live, and she is grown and she can do anything she wants to do. But it's not cute to be laid up with somebody who is damn near a peer of your child. It don't look good to other peers of yours, but it damn sure don't look good to your son. Imagine how he's being ridiculed by his friends and his peers. They probably run around, Miss Chloe, I'm ready for the rest of the tour. You don't know what he's dealing with behind your decisions and your callousness, and I don't care because I'm going through and I want what I want and shouldn't nobody have anything to say about it. You can do anything you want to do, but you have to also accept that people can feel any way they want to feel about it. So then we move on and we cut over to Latoria's house, where she is hosting a cute little girls' night for Chloe and Ro. They're going to come over and eat dinner, and they're just chatting, talking about dating and things like that. And apparently Ro likes to date young men too. She's like them young, tall, and rich. And Latoria is dating no one. And that seems to be the problem. She said she is open to dating. She's interested in dating, but she doesn't have any prospects. And ladies are saying they think she need a Nigerian. Now, Chloe goes on to explain that in her 20s, she dated a Nigerian for 9 years, and he exposed her to a lot of great things, but he was also a scammer. What the hell? One of the worst ways to insult me is to bring me a half-ass man. Why would you be suggesting dating men who you think might be into scamming and shit? Let me tell you, maybe I need to get this off my chest. And maybe I don't think she meant no harm. I think maybe she just was trying to hook me up. I don't know. I don't have any children. When you call yourself wanting to introduce me to a man with 4 and 5 kids with 5 and 6 women, why you don't respect me better than that? Why is that what you think of me? And listen, I totally understand that not all Nigerians are scammers. I understand that it is a stereotype. I totally get all of that. But my thing is, if that's what you associate with those men, why are you suggesting those men for me? But nonetheless, they say they're going to help her find somebody. Good luck. So we move on and we see Elena going back to Labrina's house because she wanted to take Labrina up on the offer to open up and share everything that's going on in her marriage. I low-key think she wasn't comfortable sharing all that in front of Bunera, but I mean, we'll talk about that later. But Elena has this really vulnerable moment where she explains a lot of her background and a lot of why she is the way that she is. Elena started out by explaining to Labrina that she did gloss over the whole situation when Labrina asked about it at the couples dinner. She said because, first of all, she was raised in a family that was a very prim, proper, buttoned up kind of family. She said essentially she was trained on how to present this perfect image of you need to look a certain way and act a certain way and make people perceive that everything is okay. And she said she's mastered acting like she has it all together, acting like there's nothing wrong. She has mastered not showing her weakness and not looking like what she's going through. She said so her approach to life is putting on her mask, powering through it and acting like there's nothing wrong, but that doesn't feel good. And apparently she has arrived at the point where she wants to take the mask off. She said at the beginning of the scene that she is done suffering in silence. And I'm gonna just say that I don't feel like her mom meant any harm in telling her, well, you never look like what you're going through and you don't let people see your weakness. And you know, a lot of us are trained that way. But it does, as Labrina said, teach you essentially to lie. Like you are lying and saying that you're okay when you're not. And I know that it is a defense mechanism. It is a protection mechanism to not, because people be waiting on you to go through some shit so they can kick you while you die. I totally understand that. And I don't think her mom meant any harm. I think she probably thought she was equipping her daughter with good advice, but not understanding how that was going to cripple her. Because it's emotionally crippling to not be able to be honest about what you're going through or how you're feeling or what you're dealing with because you have to keep up an image. Elena says she feels like it's important that they discuss the real stuff. And she shared with Labrina that they are in a transitional period in her marriage. She's not sure where it's going to go from here, that they do have a guest room for a reason. She said, and they never really had a problem with this sex life. That was always good. She said, yeah, you know, they go through their issues and they might have to separate and you go to the guest room for a while, but when they come back together, it's all good. Labrina said, well, when was the last time y'all came back together? She said the man ain't touched her on the inside parts in about 2 months. Labrina said, I know you a damn lie. I know you a damn lie. Ain't no damn way you running around with cobwebs and you got a whole damn husband. I know you lying. She said, we'll figure it out. We'll get back on track some kind of way. She said, but she does feel like it's important to separate or take a break when you are not aligned. She goes on to say that marriage is hard. And anybody that's been married, as long as they've been married, that tells you that, oh, it's all good. We're all good. We ain't got no problems. Everything is great. She said, they a damn lie. And Labrina was very transparent with her. Labrina said, ain't nothing wrong with figuring it out. She said, I could have left Will a million times. She said, before they got married, when he was in his NFL era, when he was a younger man and all them women was chasing him, he was letting them women catch him. She said, I have been cheated on more than I can tell you. I've been cheated on like a motherfucking dog. She said, but the man that I have now is not the man that I had then. She said the man that she currently has is everything to her. And she has nothing to hide. She's not ashamed of it. It's her truth. It's what they've been through. And Elena opens up and says, you know, I really appreciate that you shared that because the truth is I was cheated on during our engagement. Well, damn. And she broke down crying. She explained in the confessional that not many people know that he cheated on her during her engagement because she didn't want to be viewed as a weak woman for marrying somebody who cheated on her. And the first thought that came to my mind is how unfair it is and how it must amplify the hurt that not only with the man that you expect to spend the rest of your life with. Not only would he betray you that way, but then you have the added worry of you having to be the person who carries the scarlet letter. You have to wear that badge of shame that he is a cheater. Like, it's so unfair and so warped. It doesn't even make sense that you have to be judged and side-eyed and looked at crazy because he did you dirty. And the episode wrapped with Labrina comforting her and hugging her and just letting her cry and telling her how much she loves her, and that, you know, I don't know what y'all's next step is going to be, but no matter what, I love you. God bless her heart. Like, Labrina's the kind of person you really do need in your corner when you're going through that type of shit, because you can tell that Elena is not only lost, but afraid. Even if you kind of know, like, and I don't know what the state of their marriage is. I don't know if they're going to decide that they are meant to be and they're going to work it out and they're going to stay together for all these years to come, or if they're going to decide to go their separate ways. I don't know. But I'm sure that even though you may know that I ain't happy and this kind of ain't where I want to be, it's all you know. You don't know anything different. You never planned on knowing anything different, because people don't get married to get divorced. Most people ain't planning on, I'm going to take your money and I'm going to run you through the court. I can only imagine that she is more than anything afraid. And she goes on to say that even though she's opened up and she shared all of this with Labrina, there's still a lot that she and no one knows about her marriage. So I think she got a lot going on that she is trying to suppress, and I think it's more than anybody really knows, and it's getting to be too much mess to suppress. It's coming up and out, and prayerfully it'll be for her best. But that's it, that's all, and I ain't got no more. I'll be right back with episode 2. Thank y'all so very much for listening to me, letting me get this off my chest. Y'all, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you've not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, y'all know I love you and I mean it. Bye.